Welcome to Midlife Unlimited, the podcast for women who want more. I'm your host, Kate Porter, the Midlife Metamorphosis Coach, and I'm delighted to be joined by my episode 89, oh my goodness, guest, the fabulous Caroline Maguire, to give a taste of our full-length audio episode that's available now, wherever you get your podcasts. How to find your people as a neurodivergent midlife woman. Great topic. So much to recap on. Welcome, Caroline. It is fabulous to see you again and have you back.
Thank you for having me back. I've been excited to talk to you again.
Oh, well, our audio episode, I could have talked to you for hours because we don't just talk about your book, which is here, obviously. It's not a direct plug for your book. It's about friendship in midlife. It's tough anyway, isn't it? But if you add in the extra layer of being neurodivergent, and it's something that more and more women are facing a diagnosis of in midlife, isn't it?
Yeah, I think that, the pandemic gave us the opportunity to have a little time and to have a little think. And a lot of us did stuff with that time and we did stuff for ourselves and we explored. And I think also you get to midlife and you just say, you know what, this is something I want answers for and I deserve answers. And I think there's something that happens after 40 where we just say, I need this. I need this. And like you said, I don't have guilty pleasures. I just have pleasures. I'm not doing this anymore. So yeah, there's an explosion in diagnostic rates.
Yeah.
It doesn't surprise me. I've always been predicting it was going to happen. So I get to be valid, which I love.
Yeah, absolutely.
But
We were right.
but
Yeah.
I also think that there's a lot in our episode to talk about. Just friendship is hard in midlife in general.
No. And that's something that I've personally, I mean, I talk about a lot. I talk about lots of things a lot. But no, because there can be that almost guilt feeling that obviously as our kids are growing up, the friends around the school gates, that's shifting. Friendships that we might have had from college or university, we've lost touch maybe because of our relationships, moving house. Everything shifts, doesn't it? And it can be, and I felt like that. You get to midlife and you think, I haven't really got any friends anymore.
Well, I think that funnel is gone. Like there was a natural funnel in university and in elementary school and in middle school. And then in the kids zone, right? When you
Yeah.
have kids, especially the early years, you
Yeah.
have such a conduit toward friends. Although I would argue sometimes those people aren't your people,
No.
right? They are people. And you're busy, but you're could be lonely in a crowd. And so I know a lot of friends drift. I know there's a lot of change in midlife. I know people are scared, but I would argue it's your reset. It's a new day, and you get to find the actual people that really fill your social cup and fill you up and make you feel good. And by the way, P.S. treat you well.
Yeah.
Because I just will say personally, from my standpoint, I am not the same woman I was at 25 in the best way, right?
No.
I don't take as much guff off of people, a very American term, sorry, but like I don't take things from
No.
people anymore. And there's people I've let drift because I realized that they just didn't treat me very well. And I would end a social engagement with them and feel just like drained and tired and kind of bad about myself. And I would tell my husband, and he would say, they said that to you? That's not true. That's not who you are.
No.
And, I feel like that's all done and you can reset and you can find the people who are your people.
No. That is so true and so empowering because I've been there. And when you end up just beating yourself up and your self-esteem just plummets and you're like, and what do? You have a glass of wine to make yourself feel better, or you go and yeah, all these things. You
A
just
crisp, a crisp. You have a
yeah, it
crisp.
just
I have a
doesn't. It
crisp.
just
Come
yeah,
on.
it doesn't. And I love the way when we were chatting initially, you said you wrote the book, the I don't know if it's your first book, but Why
Yeah,
Will No One Play With Me? Because it was focusing more on the children aspect of it. But you said again, A, you work with loads of adults, but B, it was the parents going, so much of this was resonating with them.
right. Or they would say, we need a book for us because I need to know how to make friends to help my kids make friends.
Yeah.
Um, and also, I think a lot of people are looking to change things up in midlife. And I think a lot of people want different friendships, want different relationships, want different everything, right? They want not just a job, they want something they love and they're passionate about. They want to give themselves the things that maybe they denied themselves. Um, and I don't just mean penguins and crisps.
No.
Um,
No, but that completely resonates with how I'm feeling now and how I've come through my own metamorphosis. That feeling that my boy, I love him, he's still in my life, but he's off living his new life now. And now I'm thinking I'm 50, just turning 57 this month. It's just the beginning for me. And I'm so
yeah,
excited by all the things that are out there waiting for me to discover them and new friendships and new opportunities to me. I've got a feeling that's going to play a big part. But it's the how, isn't it? It's the how. And no matter, I might come across as quite a confident person, but we all have that. Perhaps it's an inner child still that when you go into a situation where you don't really know anyone, there is that temptation to either be OTT because you're feeling uncomfortable, like hi, and like talk too much and be too loud, or like hover on the outskirts and not feel, oh, or cry off at the last minute. I mean, even worse. So,
yeah, I mean, it's really awkward and you can feel really awkward. And I think you can feel really unconfident. And not everyone is as welcoming as they should be. You know, like if I knew someone was coming to something at my house and they didn't know anybody, I would, make sure they were paired up with someone or I would take the time myself. But not everybody is considerate. But I think there are people who are, and I think there's ways to make you feel more confident so that you can be your authentic self because we're in midlife. We don't want to be anything but our authentic self. And we all have that part of us that is fun, that is, you know, good to chat to. And one of my tips, can I tell the tip that we talked about?
oh yes, please do, please do.
Is to find a role. So when
Yeah,
you go to an event, if you have a role, if you are dishing out the drinks, putting away the coats, if you are helping to organize it, if you are like, if it's a charity thing, if you are like, I will run the silent auction, right? If you do something like that, you ask the host ahead of time or you volunteer when you get there, you feel less awkward because you have something to do with your body. You have something to do in order to make yourself less sort of like aware in that almost adolescent way of like, oh, I'm so conscious of everything about me. I shouldn't have worn this skirt. It's kind of uncomfortable. It pinches at my waist. And like
mm.
you're focused on that instead of getting to know people and having fun. I also think, Kate, there's an important bridge here about not everything is going to work out. And when it doesn't, trying to be less hard on yourself and more saying like this is experimentation,
Because
it
we
didn't
beat
work.
ourselves up, don't we? Go, oh God, I'm so stupid. If only I hadn't. Why did I say that? Why? Oh, I've made an idiot of, I'm embarrassed now. And it's like, take a breath.
And it's not always you, right? Sometimes it's the environment, like it just wasn't the right environment, it wasn't the right people, it wasn't the right setup. People DM me and they write me and they tell me stories, and people will write me things and I'll be like, well, that wasn't a great setup, right?
Mm.
There was nowhere for you to chat, or it was a really awkward, hall, or sometimes it's too loud. And I know
I was
my
gonna say
kids would
that.
tease me about that and say it's because I'm like getting deaf. But honestly, it's really sometimes it's just too loud. You cannot talk to anybody.
No, no, that is so true. And often, I mean, whether it's a personal, like a party or a business networking event, sometimes it can be so hard to either hear what the other people are saying or to concentrate. It's just noise, isn't it? And it's just that can be so off-putting and that can throw your confidence or just you just feel uncomfortable.
Yeah. And I think anyone with like any sensory issues, that pushes all our sensory
Yeah.
buttons. So I think that's the other thing. We have to give ourselves a break. We have to say, I'm experimenting. This is a new day. I'm doing this new thing. And I really think if we go for interest, if we find our people by thinking, what are my strengths? What am I interested in? What's fun for me? What's the activity you've always wanted to do,
Yeah.
but you've never done because you were raising kids and you didn't have time and you were, helping with everything. And so your life became about, doing the laundry
No.
and getting the uniform for tomorrow instead of like, I've always wanted to check this out.
And it gives a common thread then, doesn't it? So it makes conversation not necessarily easier, but you've always got something to talk about because you've got this common interest and common thread.
Absolutely. So when you have a common interest, there's like a common language. There's a language about around whatever it is, right? If it's a sport thing, if it's a crafting thing, if it's, a book club, you have this common language. You share experiences with this common language, and it allows you to nurture the friendship much more easily than if you're just making small talk, right? Because your small talk can be around, like I've told you, I'm in a ton of true crime things. It's a weird obsession that I have.
We
So
we share we share the interest, don't we?
but like if you're in that space, you have the case to talk about, or you have the thing to talk about, or you have whatever. You don't have to find common ground. You already have common ground. And it's the same with anything: bird watching, crafting, sport, outdoors events, animals, right? If you decide to volunteer for some kind of animal organization, have that. And therefore, you don't have to like search or try to figure out what are they interested in. They're here, they're interested in the same thing you are.
Yeah. Because another thing we talk about as well, which like really stuck with me, because it is something we do need to bear in mind, and that is traveling. Because often we might find a group doing something that we love, but it's not on our doorstep. So it's not
Yeah.
something that we can get to do even once a week, maybe. But then there's an element of looking forward, isn't there? And now there are so many ways of keeping the conversation going, even when we're not in real life together.
And I think you have to decide, do you want something that's right on your doorstep in your town? And you and I both live in small places. So
Yeah.
some of the things that I would like just aren't on my doorstep, right? I live next to chickens. I told you this. Um,
Very obedient chickens.
very beauty and
Yeah,
chickens.
listen to the episode to find out more about chickens. Yeah.
But like it's not going to be here. And so people will say to me, but I want this, but I want that. You're not going to get all the criteria, right? I think we've reached 40, 50 by, we know that. But if you travel a little bit, maybe it's once a month, you travel, you drive half an hour, you take a train for an hour, and you have that wonderful experience. And then you keep up via Zoom, you keep up via, text. You're in a WhatsApp group. I feel like that's more nurturing. This is just my personal opinion, and
Mm.
everyone can decide for themselves. I feel like that's more nurturing to be with people you really connect with in person once a month versus every week go someplace where you just feel kind of bored and lonely in a crowd. That's just, and if you can find it, if you're in a big place and you can find it right where you are, that's so great.
Mm, yeah. And another thing that you agreed with, because again, I say it a lot, and I think now we're old enough and ugly enough that even if it's something we've had on our back burner in our pan for ages, oh, one day, and we're like, no, we're going to make it today. We're going to make the one day today. But then we try it, and we're like, well, actually, I don't actually. It was all right, but it didn't fire me up. We can say, Kate, Caroline, you tried it, didn't like it, try something else. And that's perfectly all right, to give yourself permission to say you don't have to keep going back. If it really isn't for you, there are so many other choices out there, aren't they, that we can go and try.
Yeah, I agree. And I think sometimes we also fantasize about something, and then when we actually go to do it, it's not as good as we thought it would be.
Mm,
But I do think there is also a learning curve, right? And there is also a maybe this isn't the right group,
Yeah.
but you like, you like fly fishing. You just don't love fly fishing in this particular setting with these particular people. So I guess you don't really talk during fly fishing, but you know what I mean.
Well, you but that no, that's a very good point though, because I think sometimes we think, oh no, and then perhaps it's the comparisonitis in us, oh, I wasn't any good at it. Well, yeah, but you got to give yourself a bit of time. And if it's something you new that you're trying, it really is unrealistic to expect that well, unless you're a natural jive dancer or I don't know, cake baker, it's going to be trial and error. And that can be part of the fun, as far as I'm concerned. For me,
Right.
it is.
And I think that's part of new things, right? Like
Mm.
it's scary and it's new. And by the way, if you are in midlife but you still have kids at home, your kids are going to see you trying things, and that is a better story to get them to try things than if you never try anything. And by the way, we're never done parenting. So maybe it's that your 30-year-old, you want them to go to graduate school, but they're scared. If they
Mm.
see you doing scary things, it's a lot easier to have that conversation and say, hey, listen, I'm out there, I'm trying things, I get it, right? I have found that over the 21 years I've been working with folks. And I also think you feel good about you, because
Oh,
instead of the bucket list, you're like doing it.
it's so true. It's so true. Because when I said, right, I'm gonna salsa dancing had been on my list for far too long. My other half said
Love it.
my other half said he'd rather gouge his eye out with a spoon.
My other half would never do
No,
that
so I
either.
went on my own, and I've did my first sessions. I've passed my first syllabus, whatever you want to call it, and I loved it.
Wow.
Oh yeah, and my boy, I must admit, it's because the class of the clashing with something else. I do need, and I will be going back. But my boy was like, "Good on you, mum," and I
Yeah.
was scared to death. I actually did a little live video from the car before I went into the first one, and I was sitting there like, "Oh, is anyone going to talk?" Because all these things go through your head. No one's going to talk to me. I won't like anyone. But you get in there and everyone's like, hi, 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 and if you're no good, you like make a joke about it.
Well, and not everybody's going to be good,
No.
right? Like, not
Oh,
everybody's
in
going
my
to be good.
head, I was fantastic, but
Well, and I think that gets into the comparisonitis, as you called it, is a real thing. And I think we have to remember that, it's not comparison is the thief of joy. It's that comparison makes us stay stuck,
yeah.
right? Because, yeah, there's people who are natural, or they claim, by the way, half the people who claim I've never tried this before have had like professional lessons. So, like, don't believe that.
Take it all with
Um,
the old pinch of salt, don't we?
take it with a pinch of salt, but I think to get yourself to try, we have to give ourselves a break and say, I'm experimenting, I'm practicing, I'm trying, it's a new thing.
Mm,
Who knows if it'll work out.
no. But I say the joy's out there and the friendships out there just waiting to be made. I think it's wonderful. I can't wait. I kind of all the time I'm thinking, well, not it makes me sound as though I don't follow through on other stuff. I do, but it is. I've got a little bit of an inner magpie. I'm like, oh, that sounds like fun. Oh, that's like fun. Don't spread yourself too thin. But obviously, we've mentioned your book,
Thank
friendships.
you.
Now, all your contact details and the book links are in the show notes and in your guest profile. But for viewers, can you talk through how they can come and say hello? Because you said you do like it when people come and say hello, how they can reach out to you, how they can get the book.
Yes. So the book is anywhere books are sold. It's available in the UK in audiobook and in regular book. And if you go to a bookstore and they don't have it, request it. That's super helpful. And the if one way to reach me is at author Caroline M, because that is my Instagram, my YouTube, everything flows from there. I do a lot on Instagram, and my YouTube videos are like real videos. I make videos about each individual step in this process. So if you're looking to do this and you read the book and you're like, I can't quite picture it, the YouTube videos can be super helpful.
No, because I love you said they're actual, not scripts, but to help us prepare in the book, aren't they? It really is a
Yes.
practical guide. Because we just need a bit of a helping hand, don't we? We need
Yes. And
a
I
friendly
love a
push.
script.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no.
we need a roadmap. Like sometimes we need to know, like, what does this look like? And so I'm very into the practical. That's my jam. I love to be practical and I love to answer questions. And if I don't have an answer, I will spend months finding answers so that I can help people picture a process because it annoys me when I don't have an
Uh,
answer.
So, viewers, go and connect with Caroline and come and connect with me. Well, firstly, subscribe here if you haven't already. Drop a little like, a little thumbs up, or a review. Always, always much, much appreciated. Feedback as well. We love that. Come and connect with me. The link is there to say hello via the website and all my social links as well. And on the website, you can find all the audio episodes that are available wherever you get your podcasts, and details of how you can work with me with my one-to-one coaching and my all-in-one program, more MORE exclamation mark, that combines one-to-one and group program. And watch this space because the book is coming. Caroline will be in it. All
Yay.
drop. I know I'm going to be dropping information shortly. It's all going to come together and be rather super exciting. But in the meantime, Caroline, it's been fabulous catching up. I could talk to you all day. I'm going to have to get you back on as well because it's just
Oh,
the
I
kind of
love it.
conversations that we don't have enough of. And that's what I'm all about. That's what you're about, and that's what Midlife Unlimited is all about. So thank you for watching. Go and check out the other video podcasts on here as well. Thumbs up all round would be lovely. Here's to being fabulous and flourishing together and living Midlife Unlimited. Thanks, Caroline. It's been brilliant. Bye.
Thank you.